Hi folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to check out Clear for Takeoff, Race for the Skies. It's for 2 to 4 players, ages 7 and up, and the average play time is about 30 minutes. So, what is this game all about? Well, basically, you're going to be trying to get the 3 planes of your color to take off. The first player to do that will win the game. Now, I do have the game set up for 2 players right now. To set up the game, you're going to choose a color. Take 3 planes of your color along with your play mat here. This is your hanger. You also are going to deal 6 of these action cards, they're all orange here, to each player. And you're also going to shuffle these weather cards, which are separate. And you're also going to piece together this little runway here. There's an A, a B, a C, and this is just for extra effect. This really isn't really a space, so don't worry about it when you're moving your planes along the runway. But anyway, let's go ahead and show you the box insert real quick before we show you how the game is played. There's a baggie here for the planes, and here's the purple and yellow runways. Nothing too fancy there. Here's a look at the rule book. Very simple. Okay, yeah, it's very short, very simple. And again, your object is to get your planes from the hangar and have all 3 take off. You've got a small plane, you've got a medium plane, and you've got a large plane. Now this comes into play in 2 different ways. Well, I should say 1, I don't want to confuse you with the letters here, but in order to move a small plane from one space to another, you need to only play 1 card of the letter that you're trying to move to. To do a medium plane, or to move a medium plane, you need to play 2 cards. And if you're trying to move a large plane, you have to play 3 cards of the letter that you're trying to move to. So in this example, let's take a look at Red's hand here. So I've got 2 A's in my hand. These cards range from A through D, D being takeoff. So you would play this when you're on C space and you're ready to take off. There is a delay card in here that you can play on somebody else to prevent them from moving. That actually moves them back 1 space, I apologize. But if a player has a Lucky Captain card, they can negate the effects of that. Lucky Captains also serve as a wild and can be used with any card. So I have a choice here as Red. On my turn, on your turn, what you're going to do is you're going to do 1 of 2 things. You're either going to take an action, or you're going to discard up to 3 cards and then draw back up to 6. At the end of your turn, you're always going to draw back up to 6. So on Red's turn, let's see. So he could do a number of things here. He could play 1 of these A cards here and put it into the discard pile, and then just simply move his small plane onto the A space. If he wanted to, he could play 2 A cards. And because you need 2 cards to move the medium plane, you can go ahead and do that and move the medium plane up. He could play the 2 A's along with this wild Lucky Captain card to move his large plane onto A. I think you guys get the idea. In order to move this large plane up to B, I would need 3 of these B cards, or 2 B cards in a wild, which is the Lucky Captain here, and so on and so forth. If my opponent had, say, had a plane up here ready for takeoff, I could play this instead, this delay card, and then move him back a space. But he would have to negate that with a Lucky Captain card. If he didn't have one, he would go ahead and move back. So that's basically the gist of it. So let me go through a quick example turn here. So let's just say that I wanted to do A, okay, and then that just simply moves that plane up there, and then we draw back up to 6 cards. Alright, that ends that player's turn. This player gets to go. Alright, he's got 2 B's, 1 A. Alright, so he's going to do the same thing. He's going to play the A card and move his plane up here. Alright, then he's going to draw back up to 6. This player goes. Alright, I've got 2 B's. Okay, so I guess I can play a B to move. Yeah, let's do that. Move my red plane up by 1, and then draw back up to 6. This player goes. No A cards, but a lot of lucky cards, which is good for him. If he had a larger plane, he could use a combination of these, but he doesn't. Let's just, again, move the small plane up. It's the easiest one to move, because you only need 1 card for it, and he gets to draw back up to 6. Alright, this player goes. No C cards, but again, you can use a Lucky Captain card as a wild if you want to. Instead, he's going to do 2 of these, an A and a wild, in order to move his medium plane up to here. And draw back up. This player takes a look at his hand, goes, okay, no A's. This is actually pretty bad. Okay, he could use a lucky captain card, I suppose, to... Actually, he could use 2 lucky captain cards. Let's say he does that. Let's say he uses 2... Actually, he's got 2 of these Takeoff cards. Let's say he just wants to get rid of some of these Takeoff cards. So he's going to discard a Takeoff. Again, you can discard up to 1, 2, or 3 cards on your turn, and then draw back up. But that ends your turn. You don't get to take an action. And this player gets to go. And I think you guys get the idea. Once players get a plane onto the C space, they can play one of these Takeoff cards. So let's say this medium plane of red made it to the C space, and I played a Takeoff card. What you're going to do is you're going to check the weather to see if you can take off. Now you'll notice some cards, like snow, prevent certain planes from taking off. In this case, large planes cannot take off. Because this does not affect small or medium planes, this plane would take off just fine, and that would be one plane that would be scored by red. And again, the objective here is to get all of your planes to take off. Just to show you what the other cards do, clear skies, crosswind, small planes can't take off. Fog, medium planes can't take off. Crosswind, crosswind. So yeah, there's not a whole lot of weather cards, but they do prevent certain planes from taking off. And that is the gist of Clear for Takeoff. I didn't go every single rule in the rule book, but that should give you the general idea. So there are some variants in the back of the rule book, like for example for 2 players. Both players play with 6 planes, each picking 2 colors as though they were one color. The first player to have all 6 planes take off wins the game. And the beginner version of the game, just simply get rid of the weather cards. As soon as you get to C and play a Takeoff card, it can take off no matter what the weather says. So just get rid of the weather cards altogether. There's a ranking variant, different things like that. So as far as what I thought, very cool game. It's very simple. There is a little bit of strategic element to the game in the sense that, okay, so I've got 3 A's, for example. Do I want to, but I have no B cards or only 1 B card. Do I want to use my large plane now? Like discard 3 A's to move my large plane up to A? Or do I, but I've got 1 B card, so I won't be able to move this again right away. I'd have to wait for more from the deck. So this plane is going to be sitting here a while. Should I use, should I advance maybe my small or medium plane ahead instead? And try and get it off the runway as quick as possible so that he can't delay me with one of these delay cards? Or do I just, move up and hope for the best, and hope that the deck is kind to me and I get more B cards? Do I use my lucky captain cards to help my planes take off? But if he plays one of those delay cards and I don't have a lucky captain card to offset that, then I'm going to be moved back a space, which is devastating for a large plane like this. So yeah, there's a little bit of strategic element here. Overall, really cool game, great components, and easy to play, so definitely a family-friendly game. If you guys want to see my quick review, go check it out at www.dadsgamingaddiction.com. If I can find a link on Amazon, I'll go ahead and link it there. Some of these games that I've covered recently from Blue Orange Games haven't been released yet. But if I can't find it, I'll just simply link the Blue Orange website and you can browse their catalog. So that was Clear for Takeoff. If you guys haven't already subscribed to my channel, that way you can keep up to date with any new content I'm going to publish. This is Vince, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.